But still, as the bargain is more explicit and complete on your part, it is more so on the other, and you have not to fear so many contingencies. It is not every wind that can blow you from your anchorage, and so long as death withholds its sickle, you will always have a friend at home. People who share a cell in the Bastille, or are thrown together on an uninhabited island, if they do not immediately fall to fisticuffs, will find some possible ground of compromise. They will learn each other's ways and humours, so as to know where they must go warily, and where they may lean their whole weight. The discretion of the first years becomes the settled habit of the last, and so, with wisdom and patience, two lives may grow indissolubly into one. But marriage, if comfortable, is not at all heroic. It certainly narrows and damps the spirits of generous men. In marriage, a man becomes slack and selfish, and undergoes a fatty degeneration of his moral being. It is not only when Lydgate misallies himself with Rosamund Vincy, but when Ladislaus marries above him with Dorothea, that this may be exemplified. The air of the fireside withers out all of the fine wildings of the husband's heart. He is so comfortable and happy that he begins to prefer comfort and happiness to everything else on earth, his wife included. Yesterday he would have shared his last shilling, today his first duty is to his family, and is fulfilling in large measure by laying down vintages and husbanding the health of an invaluable parent. 20 years ago this man was equally capable of crime or heroism. Now he is fit for neither. His soul is asleep, and you may speak without constraint, but you will not wake him. It is not for nothing that Don Quixote was a bachelor, and Marcus Aurelius married ill. For women, there is less of this danger. Marriages of so much use to woman opens out to her so much more of life, and puts her in a way of so much more freedom and usefulness, that whether she marry ill or well, she can hardly miss some benefit. It is true, however, that some of the merriest and most genius of women are old maids, and that those old maids and wives who are unhappily married have often most of the true motherly touch, and this may seem to show, even for women, some narrowing influence in comfortable married life. But the rule is none the less certain. If you wish the pick of men and women, take a good bachelor and a good wife. I am often filled with wonder that so many marriages are passably successful, and so few come to open failure, the more so as I fail to understand the principle on which people regulate their choice. I see women marrying indiscriminately with staring burgesses and ferret-faced white-eyed boys, and men dwell in contentment with noisy scullions, or take into their lives acidulous vestals. It is a common answer to say that good people marry because they fall in love, and of course you may use and misuse a word as much as you please, if you have the world along with you. But love is at least a somewhat hyperbolical expression for such lukewarm preference. It is not here anyway that love employs his golden shafts. He cannot be said with any fitness of language to reign here and revel. Indeed, if this be love at all, it is plain the poets have been fooling with mankind since the foundation of the world, and you have only to look these happy couples in the face to see they have never been in love, or in hate, or in any other high passion all their days. When you see a dish of fruit at dessert, you sometimes set your affections upon one particular peach or nectarine. Watch it with some anxiety as it comes round the table, and feel quite a sensible disappointment when it is taken by someone else. I have used the phrase high passion. Well, I should say this was about as high a passion as generally leads to marriage. One husband hears, after marriage, that some poor fellow is dying of his wife's love. "What a pity," he exclaims. "You know, I could so easily have got another, and yet this is a very happy union." Or again, a young man was telling me the sweet story of his loves. "I like it well enough as long as his sisters are there," said this amorous swain, "but I don't know what to do when we're alone." Once more a married lady was debating the subject with another lady. "You know, dear," said the first, "after 10 years of marriage, if he is nothing else, your husband is always an old friend." "I have many old friends," returned the other.